Yeah. Hey, I thought it would be good to get out of the house since it's spring and get out into the sun and make a video about how to get better at painting and drawing. I think often we search for videos that are tutorials about how to do one certain technique, but there isn't a lot of information out there about how artists as a whole get better at what they're trying to get better at. And this can be in a variety of subjects, obviously. This can pertain to ceramics, or if you want to make knives, or if you want to paint, or if you want to draw, or if you want to do graffiti, whatever. Or if you want to make music. It applies to a ton of different methods which artists use to just simply get better at what they do. I actually made a list of these, and the first one is that we often think artists have these lightning bolt moments that occur in the studio, right? There's these aha moments where the ink tips over onto the page and they're like, wow, this is now splatter and this will be great. These moments very rarely occur in reality. Change is generally very incremental, it takes a lot of time, and it's very, very slow. We don't give somebody a guitar and then all of a sudden they're like, bling! Wow! One day, you know, all of a sudden they can play the guitar, right? We expect them to practice the guitar for a long time. The same is true in reality for how artists get better at what they do. Even though we have this kind of Hollywood conception that they have the muse and all of a sudden everything explodes with beautiful color and, you know, the artist gets it and it's all falling into place. That might happen once in your life, but generally it's not gonna happen. So one quote about this is from Chuck Close, who said, "Inspiration is for amateurs. The rest of us just show up and get to work." So in that quote, he's basically saying, yeah, you can be inspired. It's easy to be inspired, but becoming better at something actually takes a lot of hard work. So first thing, realize your aha moment probably is not going to happen. It's going to take a lot of practice, and that means just working every single day. First thing is work daily, right? So paint or draw or do whatever you love and do it every single day. Make it part of your routine and start training your brain to think about how to paint and draw, right? And start getting that muscle memory and all these sort of things in order to get better at painting and drawing. So do it every single day. Doesn't matter if it's a half hour, doesn't matter if it's an hour. Use something that's already part of your daily life, like if you like watching The Walking Dead or something like that, take that time and instead of just watching The Walking Dead, draw while you're watching it. Do whatever you can, work it into your day, make it as easy as possible, and make it easy to become habit. Okay? That's the most important thing. We're forming habits. We're not getting better at a certain technique. Okay? Second thing is start. Beware of the planning fallacy. The planning fallacy is this idea that everything is always simpler when we're planning it. We can all have an idea for an app or a Hollywood film or whatever, and it's great in our mind, you know? It works out great. Everything is awesome. And then we start actually working on the coding, or we start trying to get our friends together to shoot a short film and realize, oh, this is actually really difficult. So you have to start immediately. I know it's annoying and you want to get this certain type of paintbrush or this type of paper or whatever. Get a pencil, get a stack of typing paper, start right now, okay? Tomorrow never happens, you know, they talk about this with bodybuilders, people who want to get fit. All this part of the same planning fallacy is the way we trick our minds into not doing what we're supposed to do. By the way, we generally do kind of moralistic tasks when we are procrastinating. So we'll clean the house, or we'll want to wash the dishes, or we'll do whatever, and we'll try to make ourselves feel better by doing something kind of moralistic and good. And you know, it's hard to be like, oh, that was bad that I took my kids to the zoo. But if you planned to paint for 2 hours that day and you got roped into going there, then yeah, you should have probably painted. So start right now, don't put it off. You have to start, and you have to make it part of your daily routine. You have to let everybody else know, in your family and friends, this is part of what I do. Sorry, can't go out tonight, I'm drawing. With that being said, don't let what you're doing, make sure that you're practicing in a way that actually helps you, basically is what I'm trying to say, is don't just practice for the sake of practicing. Have your practice be something that actually can help you, right? So constantly challenge yourself, make yourself uncomfortable with your work, and through this, you know, your work can actually grow. Next one is just make a ton of work, right? Don't get focused on making 3 pieces or 4 pieces. This is completely the wrong way to go. Always go for 100 of any idea. I think there should be about 100 multiples of. So really kind of shoot for 100, and then maybe out of that there'll be 5 or 6 good pieces. But shoot for way more, and this will stop you from getting, bound up in these little details and stuff like that. When it comes to painting and drawing and learning how to paint and draw, you have to go for quantity at first, not quality, okay? You're going for as many as possible. Get inspiration from other painters, look at other people who are making work, look at their techniques, and rip them off, okay? There's a quote here I have from Gary Painter who said, if you have one person you're influenced by, people will say you're the next whoever. But if you rip off 100 people, people will say you're very original, right? So rip off as many people as you can, mush all of their styles and all of their ideas into one giant pot and create something of your own. Don't just rip off one person, because then it kind of looks like you're playing second fiddle to somebody else. But take a lot of work from a lot of different people. With that being said, the next one, I guess I'll just pop into the next one. Get a hobby that isn't painting. Make knives, do ceramics, do whatever you have to do, but do something else that's not painting and drawing, right? You should also, I think it's good to also have 2 different types of work. Have work that's for the public and have work that is private as well. So you can make work that you put on Instagram or whatever, you show to your friends, put up in a local gallery or coffee shop or whatever. Have that work, but also have work you don't show to anybody. That's specifically for yourself to just learn how to do stuff. So make sure you have a space that allows you to experiment, allows you to make mistakes and do terrible stuff. With all of this, I guess I want to kind of wrap this up with 2 quotes. One is from Leonardo da Vinci, who said, creativity feeds on limitations. So this idea that you can take a very, very simple concept, if you do it 100 times and work with that very simple concept, that limitation, your work can actually become better than trying to start with this huge concept and then trying to make the work from that. So simplify things down. Simplify your materials that you use, simplify the process that you use, simplify the way you conceptualize your work. And from that, many times, there's some bigger revelations that can come from the work. But again, you have to make a ton of it. You can't just make one piece. And the last quote I want to leave you with is one from Philip Guston, who says, it's called Studio Ghosts. And he said, when you're in the studio painting, there are a lot of people in there with you. Your teachers, friends, painters from history, critics. And one by one, if you're really painting, they walk out. And if you're really painting, you walk out. So as we look at all these different people and mush all of their techniques into one big stew and remember what our 6th grade teacher said to us about how we could draw, they also start to leave, and then us inside the studio, our hand begins to not be controlled by our body. We're actually working off muscle memory, we're working off of routine, skill, and habit in the work. And I think that's a really important thing to realize when Miles Davis or Jimi Hendrix or Michelangelo was painting the Sistine Chapel. All these people, it's hard to say that their hand is the one painting these works, right? They're there, they certainly have the skills to do so, but all of them talk about a release from, the actual act which they're engaging in. So I think that's, the ultimate high point to try to achieve in your studio practice is you walking out of the process and creating the environment that allows that to happen as well. So thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.